Oh, well, hey, Vic. It's Jamie, that's me here. Welcome back to my channel, honey. Let's go ahead and have us a quick chat about some Real Housewives tea. Let's get into it. All right, y'all. Y'all already know how this goes. Every Thursday, the Ooh Ladies First bring you guys some new content. All right. So this week we will be over on Niecy Dixon's channel. So you guys make sure that you are following Miss Niecy Dixon. Okay. We definitely rotate channels every Thursday each week. So make sure you guys are coming on over and hanging out with us. Okay. Let's go ahead and switch gears into what you guys really came here for. All right. Let's start off with Miss Heather Gay of Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, the season 2 premiere started on Sunday. It was pretty good. We're really going to be able to see what's going on with Jen Shah and these charges that's being placed upon her based on the fraud and all this other stuff she had going on dealing with the old people's money, honey. All right. Now, for some reason, as we learned in the first episode, Miss Heather Gay has been drinking the friendship juice of Jen. Right. And she's just being a ride or die, no matter how wrong Miss Jen may treat her, whether she calls her a racist or anything like that. She's still over here riding hard for Miss Girl. So Heather Gay, as well as Mia Thornton, got a chance to sit down with Andy Cohen with Watch What Happens Live. Andy asked her some questions, or he wanted to know more about how she felt about Jen's business, where she kind of touched on the fact that, listen, I was already privy to it. I thought it was a bit distasteful, but, you know, I didn't think it was illegal. But I'm not going to give y'all the full spiel. You know how I like to do it over here. I like to bring you guys some audio so that you can hear it for yourself. So go ahead and get into this.
Timmy from New York wants to know how you support Jen as a friend and also not support the things she is charged for. How do you separate the two?
I have one job, and that's eat this challah.
Okay.
Hold on. Is this live?
Yeah.
I have one job, and it's to be Jen's friend.
Okay.
That's it. And you know what? You need friends when you're in a situation like this.
Did you ask her point blank if she did the things she's charged of with?
I don't need to.
You don't need to. You know that she didn't.
It's irrelevant.
Is it?
I knew her business was unsavory when I was her friend, so why would I change now that it's public?
You did.
Well, I didn't know it was illegal.
You did not know it was illegal. You
I didn't know it was
still
illegal.
have that bread in your mouth.
I know. Can I chew this?
Yeah, chew that. You say unsavory. You knew it was suspicious or you didn't understand it. You said at the reunion last year you didn't understand it.
Yeah, Jen was on my podcast, and I asked her for like an hour questions about her business because I love business, and I know how hard it is to make money in business. It doesn't just flow.
Right.
And I never understood it, and I just assumed it was something that was like right along the line of, you know, nothing I'd want to be involved in, but I didn't think it was illegal. I didn't think you'd go to prison for it.
Right.
I would have said, babe, don't do this. Your life is worth more than that, you know?
Right. Okay. Heather, Christy L wants to know if Jen spoke about your children on social media, would you still be friends with her?
No.
You would not?
I would not.
Wow. Interesting.
I can take it.
Right.
But, like, my kids are off limits.
Did you talk to her ever about that Meredith Brooks situation and social media?
Jen's a disaster on social media, you know? And like I can't manage Jen. I think that's clear. So I just try to show up for her. And like, the truth is I love her. She's fun. She's charismatic. She's smart. And that's all I need.
So y'all just heard what Miss Heather had to say when it came down to Jen as a whole, as far as the legal situation, as well as how she treats or her antics on social media towards Meredith's son, Brooks. My thing is, number one, girl, why are you ending this interview, girl? Why is Andy? Why ain't nobody tell this lady that in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, we're live, girl? Why she's sitting up here eating this food? I couldn't take it. It kind of bothered me just a little bit. What else did she end up saying? She said that Jen needed a friend in this situation. She's right. I can't 100% fault Heather for wanting to be a friend to Jen. Maybe that's just how Heather is, but at the same time, I feel like Jen has been such a negative person to you in different ways. So for you to still go to bat for her at this time, Yikes. I do think that it says a lot about Heather's character, not in a bad way, but in a positive way, that she can overlook the things of the past and choose to be a friend to Jen in this moment when Jen needs this friendship, right? But for you to go on and say that you knew that it was unsavory, girl, but you didn't think it was illegal, I'm like, girl, you are setting it up for them to pull you right onto the stand so you can help their case. So I don't think that was helping your good friend Jen's case by you saying that you thought that her business was unsavory. She said that because that makes sense. When she got her on her podcast, she asked a lot of questions. I haven't heard the podcast, but if she asked her a ton of questions, yeah, I probably would too, because I don't understand it. It's not making any sense. And maybe that's what Jen wants it to be. She wants it to not make sense. That's how she was gooping the people, by taking their money and not making it make sense for them. Okay, so Jen is good at confusion, but she's not going to be able to confuse these feds, girl. Okay. Another thing, moving on to her talking about Brooks, and Jen said, Heather says that she can't be her friend. Like, if she ever talked about her kids, she wouldn't be able to be her friend. And I'm like, but she called you a racist in so many words and said other stuff about you, girl, and you still willing to be her friend. But she was honest and said that she loved her to death. And I'm just like, girl, I feel like Mary. It ain't that much love in the world, honey. I'm going to have to start distancing myself from you. But I guess if that's what you want to do, my issue is nobody is willing to call Jen to the carpet about the stuff that she do. Lisa didn't want to call her out for the things that she said about her good friend, her best friend, Meredith's son. And here it is. Heather is pretty much saying the same thing because she avoided answering the question. Right. So I didn't like that at all. She just said that she wouldn't be able to be friends with her. He asked her, have you called her out about her actions? And she just said, oh, she's a disaster on social media. Girl, she was out of line. All right. So there's that. Okay. Talking about people, kids. And she ain't talking about nobody else's kids on the show but this lady kids. I feel like that's unfair. Y'all should be able to call her out. But Heather, you're not going to do it because you're so focused on having a friendship with Jen for God knows whatever reason. But either way, girl, good luck. Y'all leave y'all thoughts in the comments down below on how you're feeling about Heather and her going to bat for her good friend Jen, and still willing to be her friend before and after the fact of her being charged and arrested, girl. Let's go ahead and move on to some other Real Housewives tea. Let's talk about Real Housewives of Atlanta, Kandi Burruss. Now, y'all know Kandi has multiple restaurants, okay? OLG, as well as Blaze. But it seems like, girl, some stuff is going up in a Blaze the way one of these customers decided to light fire under her arms, okay? This person decided to post a copy of their receipt on social media, along with a statement to Miss Kandi, and said, at Kandi, this is my second attempt to patronize your restaurant at Blaze Steak and Seafood. Girl, I can't. The first time I was overcharged for cheese and margarita ice. I'm very upset that I had to pay $4 for a fucking ice. Not $4 for a cup of ice, honey. I can't for my mixed Henny and Coke drink, and another $8 for a Red Bull. I pride myself on eating at Black restaurants. In fact, I budget $300 a month towards this, and often I overspend. But y'all have lost y'all rabbit ass mind. Y'all have lost y'all rabbit ass minds with this overcharging. Fix this ghetto SHI. This is too, I don't know why that, I don't know who said that, but it makes me think of somebody else that said, fix this ghetto. What? Here's the crazy thing though. When I look at this receipt, this may sound sad and bad, but it really is the norm here in Atlanta. Is it fair? No, it shouldn't be fair, but it really is the norm. Like, they will literally charge you for every little thing and then go ahead and add the gratuity to your check and all this extra stuff, girl. And I guess the gratuity really ain't no issue, but they definitely overprice the kids out here, especially when I went to the garden room, you know, I think it's called the garden room for my birthday or whatever. Beautiful spot. Loved it. Great. But those small shareable plates, and it's so funny because when you hear shareable, you think it's going to be big enough for you to share with other people. No, ma'am. Okay, it's about the size of your palm, but you're paying 30 or 30 plus or more dollars for this shit. Hear what I say? Okay, so they definitely overcharge. I feel like that's the norm here in Atlanta, but I'm not too mad at them putting them on blast. More people gonna start putting a lot of these restaurants on blast, because I saw somebody else saying how they were also charged for ice at another location that had nothing to do with Candiace. So it's definitely the norm out here in Atlanta. But after this post ended up going viral on multiple platforms, it seems like the person was able to get in touch with Kandi. Ryan, who happens to be an attorney, says, I just had a very great conversation with Kandi's team, and all the issues of pricing and transparency were addressed. I was told there will no longer be an upcharge for those line items, and those line items have in fact been fully removed from the POS system. My intention was to never cancel or boycott the restaurant, but instead make sure that the issue was corrected. He goes on to say, as I stated, I went to the restaurant the first time and this occurred. I noticed the overcharge. I made it known and was told it was an oversight mistake. I returned for a second time and the oversight mistake occurred again. I know how much power I have and how much power people collectively have, and I'm happy that Blaze has decided to make things right. Thanks for taking the constructive criticism and correcting the issue. As an entrepreneur that owned one of the first Black-owned gas stations in Gwinnett and the owner of a law firm, okay, I want nothing less than to see other African Americans thrive in business. Hashtag Atlanta influences everything. And so we have to lead the way, okay? At Mr. Lawyer Up had to go ahead and give y'all his thoughts about that. So shout out to him for, you know, having the proper conversations and getting some things adjusted over there. Obviously, he holds some weight that they respected him enough to reach out and have this conversation, where some restaurants, child, they probably ain't gonna give it a all right, the price gonna go up and you're gonna have to deal with it. Next case, so what's going on? And I also feel like they could have reached out, not just because he could hold weight, as he said, he's on the first Black gas station in Gwinnett, amongst other things. I think it's also the negativity that's been surrounding Blaze, and they want to make sure they get more customers in. Because remember, there was an incident where they had failed a food inspection or whatever at their location. So I think with all of the negativity happening so quickly over the past few months around that restaurant, and I feel like it's newly opened, earlier this year or something, yeah, they don't want it to tank before it really gets started. So they're letting us know that they're adhering to the needs of the customers and they're working some things out. So maybe Black over there in Houston can learn a few things themselves, honey. Y'all got employees over there quitting left and right and got that baby up in there slaving for a little bit of a percentage in the company. I don't have time, okay? All right, let this be another example that y'all don't expect Jalen to figure it out, but y'all as owners go over there and figure it out, okay? Y'all know I had to throw a shot over there to Love and Marriage Huntsville, period. But we're going to go ahead and switch gears and let's get into some Real Housewives of Potomac, right? Let's talk about Real Housewives of Potomac, because I got this article, right, from Reality Blurb, and it's regarding Robyn Dixon and her boo Juan. So what Reality Blurb is saying, they're asking, did Robyn Dixon secretly marry or remarry Juan Dixon? Okay, they have possible evidence. All right, now y'all know that Robyn and her husband, or her soon-to-be husband, her fiance, ex-husband, whatever it is, her life partner, Robyn and Juan ended up purchasing a home. They got a home built from the ground, so they were living in this townhome from the entire time we've seen them on the show, and they finally got a home built from the ground up. So it looks like Reality Blurb must have did some digging, honey, because when they dug and they dug and they dug, they ended up finding out some information. They're saying in a July 2021 home deed uncovered by Reality Blurb, Robyn is listed as a married woman. And in further court documents, it is confirmed that she and Juan were officially granted a divorce back in 2012. So if she was granted a divorce in 2012, they're wondering, why is it showing on this paperwork that she is a married woman? So they're wondering if she could have secretly went ahead and married this man, and they're just going to have a wedding at a later time. Honey, we shall see. Not necessarily sure. For all of you individuals that are dealing with real estate and work in that area, in that arena, residential real estate, not commercial, y'all go ahead and hop down in them comments and let me know what that married woman could mean down there in those documents. Could it be true that Robyn is indeed remarried to her longtime love, Juan Dixon? Let me know down in the comments as I go ahead and transition into something else, because we have to talk about this after show. Let's get into this after show with these Real Housewives of Potomac, honey. And y'all know they started this off with Candiace calling Ashley a wide body ass, okay? Candiace continues to not deny the fact that she was body shaming and mommy shaming Miss Ashley, since Ashley is going to lead with that. Ashley says that Candiace has never addressed her body until now. Mia goes on to lie and say that she would never, ever, ever refer to a woman as wide body. Mia, you flip-flop so much, we don't know what the hell you're going to do. You say that now, girl, but we'll see what you're going to do in the coming months or the coming seasons as you're a part of this show. And they're probably going to make sure they bring this up as a receipt. All right, we're going to see just how far you're going to go, girl. But that's what Miss Mia is saying. Candiace says that she likes to diversify her reads, and she says it had nothing to do with Ashley's body, but more so to do with the fact that she's full of okay, that's what she was referring to. Gizelle and Robyn do believe that it was indeed body shaming, though. Although they don't feel like they were body shaming Wendy in any capacity, they feel as though Candiace was in a body shaming Miss Ashley for sure. Robyn says that she thinks that Candiace is going to regret what she said. And I was thinking that too, but Candiace doubled down and said, I meant what the guy said, period. Candiace goes on to say that she thinks Ashley looks good. She said that before. She said, I told y'all before, I think Ashley looks great, especially for her to be a mom that just had a baby. I'm not denying that. Okay. This is what Candiace is saying. Now, Robyn says that Candiace hasn't gone through that period of her life yet where she's given birth to a child and not liked her body after. So she can't necessarily relate. Candiace says that if and when she does have a child and her body changes, then it is what it is. I don't think it's going to be what it is. Number one, I do believe when Candiace has her first child, I can see Candiace going back to snapback. I've seen, and I could be wrong, but I've seen a lot of women where they've had their first child and they snap back like this, right? But then there are some, everybody's situation is different because there are some women that had kids and they didn't snap back so quickly, right? So I do think that Candiace is probably going to snap back pretty quickly, but I also feel like if you don't, and if, postpartum eats away at you or whatever, girl, it's not going to be what it is. It's not. It's just not going to be what it is. You're definitely going to feel a way about yourself. Okay, that's why I hit so hard with Ashley, because Ashley already feels a way about herself. Her husband already. That's one of the reasons why he was out here cheating last year, because he felt like she wasn't where she needed to be for him physically. That's why he referenced that in the car, like, you're getting that back down to size, and that's good for me. Not it's good for you, Ashley. It's good for me. Okay, and what I desire sexually or whatever. So yeah, that's definitely a soft spot for her. That's why I hit home so hard. What else? Mia says that she knows what's actually. Let me go back because Candiace doubled down and says that it had nothing to do with her mom body, but more so her being wide because she's full of and she needs to get a colonic. I hollered. Okay, definitely hollered. That was hilarious to me. Karen says that she doesn't know why Ashley and Candiace have a disconnect. And I say, how do you not know when you were there from the very beginning? How do you not know why they have a disconnect? Okay, girl, I guess. And then Mia decides to come up with her own calculations and her own conclusion as to why they have an issue. Mia says that she feels as though Candiace is a spoiled brat. That could possibly be true, right? That could be true. She also says that Ashley is minding her business in the penthouse and Candiace got problems with it. I don't think that girl give a damn about no penthouse. Candiace done went and bought a big old house. She could have also went and lived in the penthouse if that's something that she wanted to do. No. I don't understand that part, okay? And then I'm like, girl, you wasn't even there from the very beginning, but I understand your point of only speaking to what you see right now because you don't have the full history of what's happened between the both of them. Don't nobody give a damn about this girl living in no penthouse with this old man, okay? An old, thottish man, okay, that's out here hopping on everybody and everything outside of his wife. Girl, nobody's jealous of that. Nobody's jealous that she continues to have children with this man, this old, thottish man. Girl, no ma'am. Okay, let's go ahead and move on. So Karen and Gizelle, Karen says that she doesn't speak on children. And when Gizelle ended up mentioning her kids were affected by the things that she said about their dad, Karen immediately apologized. She immediately apologized because her goal is never to hurt a child. That's not the plan for her. So it was nothing for her to apologize about that. Gizelle says the only way to get to a better place with her is by owning your SHI and apologizing for it. And I'm like, I guess. Sometimes I don't feel like you always do that yourself, Gizelle. I don't feel like you always offer your SHI either. Okay, I also feel like you could have owned your stuff when you brought Ashley there, and Candiace snapped off on her the way that she did in Williamsburg. You could have said, "I'm sorry for inviting you and putting you in a situation that was gonna get your ass snapped on after you just had this baby." So, yeah, you don't do the same yourself, but I guess. Karen says that she did it for Gizelle, but Gizelle couldn't do it for her as far as extend the apology when Karen said that it was about her kids. And I just kind of felt like, Karen, but you were okay with that apology. Gizelle feels like Karen needed a reason to have an issue with her and says that she pulled it out her ass. I do think Karen needed a reason to have an issue with Gizelle because she knew Gizelle was going to have an issue with her and she was going to bring that heat because Miss Girl was not on the show anymore. She was going to be on your ass. And because you're an easier target for Gizelle to be on your ass anyway. So there's that. When it came down to the death comment, Gizelle still feels like she ain't do nothing wrong. And if anybody was wrong in that situation, she felt like it was Ray. She says Ray was wrong for how he came at her. I don't think Ray really, did Ray really come at her wrong? I don't know if he really came at her wrong. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he was just talking and telling her, you know what I'm saying? Like, girl, at some point, you know, you ain't gonna be beautiful forever, right? But I mean, I guess, honey, I still don't see nothing wrong with what Gizelle said in the confessional about he gonna be 6 feet under before her beauty fades, girl. I mean, he's older than her. He probably is gonna be 6 feet under, unfortunately. So it is what it is. Karen speaks on Gizelle's apology and calls it a weak ass apology. And I'm like, well, Karen, once again, you accepted that weak ass apology so much so that when she started to talk, you cut her off because you didn't want her to go any further because what she said was enough for you to move forward with. So now you want to get over here and talk about how it's a weak ass apology. Okay, Karen, girl, we're gonna move on. Wendy and Gizelle. Gizelle still feels like Wendy owes her an apology for going off on her like that. And I'm kind of like, do she? I do think that Wendy was doing a whole lot. I also feel like in an effort to defend your family, okay, girl, got you. But I also felt like she was doing the most to impress Karen. But I don't know if that really warranted an apology for Gizelle, but maybe Wendy felt that way because, again, when Gizelle told her, you could have came at me in one fashion because of how I've always presented myself to you in the past. Wendy said she received it. So obviously Wendy was accepting fault on how she approached Gizelle as well. So we'll see. I don't think Gizelle's ever going to get that apology that she's looking for from Miss Wendy. Karen goes on to say that Gizelle likes mess and she likes dysfunction. Wendy says that it was nothing for her to open up about with Gizelle. And I guess at the table, she says because she had already said what she needed to say to her. And when it comes to moving forward with Gizelle, she's going to do that. She's just going to move a little differently when it comes to her. So there's that. We get to the goddess party, right? Gizelle didn't like how Mia organized the goddess lunch because she didn't want to go around and tell each person positive things about themselves. She just wanted to go in on the people she had issues with. And I'm like, and see, when y'all do that, it never gets us anywhere. So unfortunately, regardless of the most flip-flopping person that Mia is, that situation, it actually did well for y'all to go around and talk about what you like in the other person, okay? Y'all actually got to some type of resolutions for the moment. Okay. What else? Oh, Gizelle felt like when it came to this goddess lunch, she felt like Mia was trying to clear up her own bullshit that she put out there. And she was trying to hurry up and get past it. That's what she felt like was going on because Mia went out there and lied to Wendy saying that Gizelle called her a weak ass. And that's not what was said. What else ended up happening? Yeah, so I think that was pretty much all that I had. So when it comes to the Watch What Happens Live, right? Because Mia was a part of Watch What Happens Live. She goes on to the show and, you know, she's asked some questions. One of the questions was, which lady do you respect the most? And which lady do you respect the least? Who she respects the most is Wendy, but then turned around and said who she respects the least is Wendy. I said, what the fuck? What are we doing, Mia? What are we doing? Do you respect the lady or you don't respect the lady? And then you be wondering and you be making posts on Instagram wondering what you be lying about or what you be flip-flopping about. And this is a prime example. You sat up there and said you respect Wendy the most, but then you also respect her the least. Girl, that makes no sense. That makes, if somebody can make it make sense in the comments, do so. Because it's not making sense for me, okay? I'm over here like Wendy. TikTok, Mia. Okay, not making sense. She also goes on to say, when the question was asked, whose relationship do you think doesn't get the respect that it deserves? She says Juan and Robyn's. I can agree. I mean, regardless, I feel like Ashley and Michael get more respect than Juan and Robyn relationship do. I think it's because people really dislike Robyn and don't want to see her and Juan relationship flourish. And any moment that they see Juan not wanting to have any negative interaction with the show, they go on to praise that and assume that this man don't want to be with this woman and yada 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 yada, and then they equate it down to what he's just been there so long that he feels like he has to say and this. And I'm like, nah, because when a man really want to get the hell on, that's what he gonna do. He don't have to stay. I think Juan is highly aware that he does not have to stay in a situation with Robyn if he don't want to. I don't think he feels like he obligated to stay at all. So I do think that people don't really give their relationship much respect. I feel like if they are indeed married, or if they go on to get married and have a wedding, I think out of the dislike for Robyn, people are going to continue to figure out a way to discredit their relationship in some fashion. What else ended up happening? She says that Candiace is the least respectful woman in the group. And I understand why she say that, because Candiace just lets y'all know what it is. She flies off the handles, and she reads y'all down, and y'all are never really prepared for what it is that's going to come out of her mouth. Okay, and she definitely reads y'all down, and I enjoy it because I cackle, because it really don't be too far from the reads and stuff that be happening over there on Real Housewives of Atlanta. It's just that y'all ain't up to par with the reads yet, so y'all can't compete with Miss Candiace. What else goes on? She also says that when it comes down to the man that disrespects their woman the most, she says that is Ashley's man. She also said that, I think she said Ashley has like the best reads when it comes to people. I said, no, Ashley don't. Ashley has struggle reads. Okay, she does. And if Ashley does have reads that hit and land, those reads sound just like the reads Candiace has given out that y'all said Candiace got so much mouth about. Because the way Ashley has read down Sharice, read down Karen talking about her husband's penis, read down Katie and what's going on in between her legs and about her kids, baby, if you go back into the archives, it's the she got a mouth just like Candiace do. Hilarious, okay? But when it comes to her husband, he is the most disrespectful, and I agree. And I wanted her to try and say Gizelle, because I was gonna say, girl, now you wasn't even on the show for that part. So don't even try and go back and reference something in history based on what you heard and what you haven't seen and experienced while on the show, girl. So you said it right. He is the most disrespectful. And I can appreciate that, because if you let some people say it, they'll say that it was Robyn Dixon instead of saying that it was Michael Darby. Okay, but that's pretty much all that I have when it comes down to the quick chat. All right, y'all leave y'all thoughts down below. Let me know how you feeling about Miss Heather Gay and her thoughts on Jen Shah's case, as well as her friendship and her comments about Meredith's son. Also, chime in below about your experience with these restaurants down here in ATL, honey. And let me know your thoughts on Miss Kandi Burruss and how they handled the situation with that customer complaining about being charged $4 for a cup of ice, baby. Let me know. Also, let me know if y'all know anything about Miss Robyn being married officially to her man, Juan Dixon. Get down in these comments and let me know. Also, touch on the after show. Let me know your thoughts about that, as well as watch What Happens Live with me at Thornton. That's all that I got. I'm Jamie. That's me, honey. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share my videos, follow me on Instagram and Twitter, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.